Xiaomi Mi Note 10 is the world's first commercially available 108 megapixels Penta camera smartphone, and in this first look video I'll share my initial thoughts about this device. I wanted to quickly share this video before I put my full review, the one that has all the bells and whistles, and I'd love for you guys to comment with questions you might have and you want me to answer in that video. As always, I have timestamps in the description so you can get to where you want to get quick information. Without further ado, let's get to the video. The Mi Note 10's cardboard box is wrapped in some plastic, and when that's taken off, we get the box itself. Open it ushers us into the Mi Note 10, and from my first glances at it, already it looks really amazing. I'm going to be putting it to the side first, and I'll get into it very shortly. But taking the phone's holder base away, we have a smaller box as we always do. Inside this box is where we get the SIM ejector tool, first thing we see, and inside this box we've got Xiaomi's slightly bulky user manual, warranty card, also filled with some information that you can flip through the pages, and the last thing in this smaller box is the flexible case. Xiaomi always adds this and they should not stop adding that. Further down in terms of accessories, we get the USB-C charging cable and of course a large power brick that just slips out of what looks like a socket inside the box. The power brick is a 30-watt charger, I believe, which is a step in the right direction, and compliments aside, it does feel a bit heavy in the hand when you hold it. One thing I didn't really like is that it doesn't come with headphones out the box, but I personally ordered Xiaomi's own wireless buds and I'll be testing them out as well, although they're very cheap, around 8,000 naira, which is like $25, really affordable. In front of the Mi Note 10, we've got the specs written out for us: the 108 ultra high resolution camera, Penta camera inscription, alongside the device having 10x hybrid zoom with OIS 6.47 3D curved AMOLED display, huge 5260 milliamp hour battery with 30-watt fast charger, which we saw in the box earlier. For the price of 179,900 naira, you can get this exact model on Jumia, and it really feels premium already just from unboxing it. The convenience of this device reminds you of the older Samsung flagships from 2015 like the S8, and those were preceded by models branded with Edge. Think S6 Edge. Of course, the back is also a fingerprint magnet because of how shiny it is. Up top from left to right, we've got a microphone, an IR blaster, and the antenna line. There's nothing to the left side, but on the right side again, from left to right, we've got the volume rockers, power button, and SIM slot. This time around, there's no expandable storage. However, there's a rubber seal at the edge, but I'm not sure about an IP rating for water resistance on this device. At the bottom though is where we get the speaker grills. A single speaker, which is not so great on this guy. A stereo speaker would have been great, but for 179,000 naira, it's not too bad, but still you should have gotten a stereo speaker. It's got another microphone port beside it, the USB-C port, and the headphone jack. These are all flanked by antenna lines, and if you look at the case that comes with the Mi Note 10, which fits pretty well by the way, there's what looks like a cutout for each antenna line on all sides, and I thought this was a pretty thoughtful design, really useful accessory, good design. The back of the Mi Note 10 is where we've got the 5 cameras sitting pretty. They are all arranged vertically, while the set of dual flash or quad flash are right beside them with inscriptions on both sides. The bottom of that as well is where we get the Xiaomi branding alongside the certifications. 32 megapixel selfie camera, and above it is the earpiece, and beneath all of that, of course, is the gorgeous AMOLED display. As far as the first impressions and with regards to display, it does look and feel very sleek, protected with Gorilla Glass 5. Screen size is right at 6.47 inches. Screen resolution is set at 1080p by 2340. Screen to body ratio is up at 87.8%. It's 600 nits of brightness and has HDR10. Viewing videos on it while streaming was really cool to see. HDR10 is pretty much flagship standard. It's worthy to note that there is a Note 10 Pro. The only differences are: one, a larger RAM with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. This regular Note has 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, which is still fair. And 2, we've got a slightly sharper camera on the Note 10 Pro, made up of 8 plastic lenses compared to 7 plastic lenses on the regular Note 10 that we have. Those are the only differences, and of course the prices. The device in all its novelty runs on Android 9, which may or may not be able to be upgraded to Android 10. It's still MIUI on here, MIUI 11 to be specific. Very sleek, and the animations are cool while you use it. Processor wise, This has got Snapdragon 730G, an 8nm processor. This is a gaming focused chipset, and you'll be able to enjoy your favorite games on here with little to no lag, plus a bit of eye candy with the curved AMOLED display. Other things I'll be testing for my full review include that whopping 5260 mAh big battery, and it comes with a 30-watt fast charger in the box. I can't wait to share the full statistics of the battery charging in the full review. Modes of unlocking, apart from the pin, pattern, and password on here, are mainly face unlock and the on-screen fingerprint reader, which both work just fine. They're not so fast, but they work. Samsung first announced 108 megapixels, but the first device to have it shipped was this Xiaomi device, and this is it in my hands. Has been out for a couple of months, but having this is giving me an idea of what to expect with the S20 Ultra. As far as the camera's body itself, from top to bottom, we've got a first 5 megapixel telephoto lens. Then beneath it is the 12 megapixel telephoto lens. Beneath both is the main 108 megapixel camera. Those three occupy a ridge, and because it's not enough, there is a 20 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 2 megapixel macro lens, which didn't look too pleasing in photos as far as macro shots go. In front of the phone is simply a 32 megapixel selfie camera. Wide angle shots on this device still has the same concave or convex shape to structures that are normally straight until you use the other lenses. Noise begins to appear as you zoom, which is expected at this point, but it still retains a lot of quality even in the maximum zoom levels. Of course, you can shoot RAW when you've got a large 108 megapixel camera up there. I really like the colors that the Mi Note 10 produced. Again, even when it's zoomed in, you still get to retain some of the saturation in color. When I tried to use the maximum 50x zoom, I stayed in the same position getting a tiny ball, and I could only max it out at 44x. Beyond that, the ball would be out of frame at the same standing point. Also, something not too big but worthy of note is that without using portrait mode, the Mi Note 10's camera naturally adds bokeh or background blur effects to the shots. Selfies are of course great, but on this guy, just make sure you turn off beauty mode, but some may be into that. It also still falls into the exposure problem you get with almost all smartphone cameras trying to focus on the brightest areas while dimming the other areas. The camera on this device, as far as video goes, is what I'll describe as fast. I really like the fact that it autofocuses so fast. The more I moved an object away and back, it kept being consistent, and it's not something you see a lot among other devices around this price range. In terms of colors and balancing, it may be a bit off, but it's still consistent, and that's what matters. I also love how it kept consistent bokeh when I used it for more objects up close. I really liked it. Of course, this isn't a comprehensive review of anything about this smartphone. I'll be doing my normal overall testing very soon. But what do you guys make of the camera quality and overall quality of this device? And from what you've seen, is there anything that you want me to test out? Do let me know in the comments below. That's about it for this video, guys. Again, what likely questions do you have so I can answer better? Feel free to comment. Please like this video if you found it useful in any way, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be the first to know when I drop any new video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.